Ah, Maddie, look at all these ripe bananas. I bet we have enough. I think that's too ripe. But I think we can make some banana bread. How about if you guys follow along and you can make it at home too? We only need 3 ripe bananas. Everybody lets their bananas get too ripe. Let's go over the recipe. Banana bread. Okay, we're going to need 2 cups of flour. Usually, get all your ingredients out first, get all of the equipment out that you're going to need, and then start. Okay, so it says 2 cups of flour. I've got that. A teaspoon of baking soda. Remember, soda is in the box. The powder is in the can. You cannot switch them back and forth. Use what it calls for. Salt. A 1/2 cup of butter. Remember that a stick of butter is a 1/2 cup. And it says it right on there. 8 tablespoons equals 1/4 pound equals 1/2 cup. It does need to be softened. Otherwise, it's going to be an issue. So get it out about an hour before you want to make it. Let it soften up. We also need brown sugar. We need 2 eggs, which I already got out of the refrigerator. And the mashed bananas. All right, so let's go over the recipe. It says preheat the oven to 350 degrees. So I'm going to hit bake. Nope, I'm going to cancel that. I have a convection oven, which has a fan in the back and it blows the air and circulates so it cooks better. So I'm going to hit my convection oven and then the start button for 350 degrees and let that heat up while I'm cooking, while I'm mixing it up. All right, it says lightly grease a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan. Okay, this is 9 by 5. A square pan cannot be 9 by 5 because it would be 5 by 5 or 9 by 9 or 8 by 8. They don't make a 5 by 5, so forget that one. 9 by 5, loaf pans have high sides. Take your Crisco, take a lunch baggie. Oh, I should tell you, make sure you wash your hands before you do this. I had just washed my hands before we started, so I'm okay, but you make sure you're washing your hands. We're gonna grease the bottom and the sides of the pan. Make sure you get those corners real well. All the sides, all the corners. The nice thing about doing it with a baggie is then you can just turn it right inside out, and now it can go in the garbage. We're gonna put the Crisco over here. It says in a large bowl, combine the flour, baking soda, and salt. Okay, so in a large bowl, we're going to combine the flour, the soda, and salt. It calls for 2 cups of flour. I got my 1 cup measuring out, but maybe you have a 2 cup measuring cup. Now, with flour, we don't pack it in. We over scoop and then level off. And I'll need to do that 2 times since it calls for 2 cups. Level off, pour it in. Somebody's pounding on a wall. So there must be some hot water or something running someplace and they're getting a cold shower. But we're going to ignore them. 1 teaspoon of soda. And those are my dogs barking because I heard somebody pounding. We are also going to ignore all of them. All right, so I'm going to scoop out 1 teaspoon of soda and put it in there. And it calls for 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Come here. I'm going to do that over top of the measuring cup because we want it to be level. Okay, make sure you're using the right measurements. I've had people put way too much salt in and then they couldn't eat it. Well, silly me, I put the salt in my, oh no, I did put it in there. Oh, whew, good thing. Okay, I'm going to take a rubber scraper and I'm going to mix those together so that those are combined. Doesn't take much, just mix it up. All right, then it says, in a separate bowl, cream together the butter and brown sugar. Okay, so my butter has been softened. I had it sitting out. And you can use your rubber spatula to scrape off the extra. When you're making cakes and cookies and breads, you need to make sure you're measuring correctly. And then it says 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Brown sugar is something that needs to be packed in. And most measuring cup sets don't have a 3/4 cup. So we can either use the 4th cup 3 times, or we can use the 1/2 cup and a 4th cup, and that makes 3/4. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use. Make sure you pack it in nice and tight and drop it out. Pack, 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 nice and tight, or and drop it out from there. I'm going to go rinse my hands, and then I'm going to use the mixer to cream it together. That's what creaming means. Is to mix it with a mixer, because we want it nice and smooth. Now, if your butter is soft enough and you don't have a mixer, my guess is that, not going in, there we go. You could stir it together if your butter is soft enough. In place of butter, you could use a stick of margarine, or you could use a 1/2 cup of butter-flavored Crisco if you don't have the butter. I just prefer to work with butter. Use your rubber spatula to scrape the sides and the bottom. All right. And it should look like that. Nice and smooth. The directions then say to stir in the eggs and mashed bananas. It says stir, it doesn't say to mix. So we're done with the mixer. So I'm going to pop those out. We don't want to leave any behind. So clean out your beaters. Maybe you have a little brother or sister you could be having do the dishes for you while you do this. Otherwise, you're going to have to clean up the kitchen. Your mother does not want you leaving a dirty house mess in the kitchen. 2 eggs. Crack the eggs on the side. Open it up. Let it go in. There we go. And to mash our bananas, I take a bowl. I did not open that up like a monkey would. You know that monkeys open their bananas from the bottom, and it is a lot easier to do it that way. And use a fork and mash it down. This one is really ripe, guys. This has been around for a few days. Well, that makes mushing really easy. Okay, and the third one. I hope you guys are having an okay time at home. We're thinking of you, all of us teachers. We wish we were in school with you because we have fun. All right, we're going to add that into our sugar and brown sugar mixture. Mix it with our rubber spatula, scraper. All All right. As you can see, it's all nicely mixed. Oh, look what I did, you guys. My counter was clean, so I'm going to scoop it back up. All right. Then it says, stir the banana mixture into the flour mixture. So I'm going to pour it into here. And it says to stir just to moisten. If you over stir it, your bread will not rise, and it will be heavy instead of lighter. So you don't want to over mix. I know you might think, oh, I should mix. No, 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 no. Don't do that. What did you do there, Jordy? All right, we're almost, had some flour on the bottom. I'm just mixing it up. We like nuts in this house, and so I'm going to pour in nuts. And we like lots of nuts, and I like big nuts because I am a nut. So sometimes they'll say chopped. I already bought pre-chopped, so we're just going to add that whole bag because, as I said, we like nuts. You don't have to put nuts in. It's good without it. Better with it. Unless you have a nut allergy. That would not be good. All right. I don't want to over mix, but I do want to mix those in. All right. So now I'm going to put this in our pan. You might need help, somebody to hold the bowl while you get it out of there. Scrape your bowl real good, get it all out, but you shouldn't do that. I just got it all over my stove. Level it out. And the oven is almost preheated. It's only to 340, so I'm going to wait till it's at 350, and then I'm going to stick it in the oven, and it says to cook for 60 minutes. To make sure that it's done, stick a toothpick in the center of it. If it comes out clean, it's done. If it's not, maybe set it for another 5 minutes and then take it out. And here's the recipe. My oven is preheated. Enjoy your banana bread. Love ya. Miss ya.